Just walk away. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror.
All right, we should be live. Everybody that's watching, we've got 7 viewers already. So hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of MGTOW Chats. I'm here with, this is episode 18. I'm here with DoubleGee, and we're going to...
that's good.
Yes, and we're going to talk about mostly this month being Women's Month. If you guys take a look at the screen, I've put up a picture I took of a bunch of women shoplifters. So I thought that would be a good way to celebrate National Women's Month, is pointing out pointing out some of the pointing out some of their stronger stronger traits. Women are fantastic petty thieves and shoplifters. So there's every single one.
Well, they steal stuff, they steal babies, they steal children, they steal lives, they steal jobs, they steal positions and spaces, they steal everything basically. Yes, that's a good analogy. That's very good.
So I thought that was funny. Those are just pictures of people that have shoplifted from the store I'm working at, and it's all women. It's funny.
Oh.
So also let's just see who's okay. So we got MGTOW Warriors in. Rico's in. Great. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Moderators are in. Okay, so we got...
No, it's me. I was playing the video. I was just trying to read the chat.
Oh, okay. So anyway, we're here to introduce the topic of Women's Month. And in case anybody didn't know, it is Women's Month. I don't know who dedicated it to that. I don't know if it's worldwide or if it's just an American thing. I don't know.
Well, it's mainly because it's Women's International Day is in March, right? It's Women's Day. It's the same in other countries. Like in Italy, it's the Festa della Donna. So it's like this special day dedicated to women, and it's usually, I don't know if it changes around the world. It has different dates, but I think it's usually on the 8th of March. I remember years ago, say for example, when I was a teenager in the 80s or back in the 1990s, it was just the celebration of women and womanhood. But then, of course, it turned out to be this ugly, horrible monstrosity where they get to bitch and whine all the fucking time about fabricated oppression and some other bullshit that makes no fucking sense. So basically, I think there are even some feminists, some women who are actually complaining about this because they're saying, hey, Women's International Day used to be something about celebrating womanhood. How did it turn out to be this nasty, horrible thing where women, all together gather up and they keep bitching about the patriarchy and all that crap? But anyway, I was searching online and I found that some very interesting links about, for example, the International Women's Day.com, and that basically a new hashtag. Now there is, you remember there was the hashtag MeToo last year, and then the hashtag Time's Up, and now for this year, there's gonna be another hashtag, which is Press for Progress.
Press for Progress.
Just wait for it, because this month will be mostly about the hashtag Press for Progress. You're gonna hear that hashtag quite a lot, especially on the 8th. But certainly starting on the 8th of March, it will be Press for Progress, and that's some new bullshit hashtag, so get ready for it and enjoy the ride.
So progress, what does that mean for these women, these
nothing,
infantile
could
women?
Be anything. It could be anything, because it's Time's Up, Me Too, it could be whatever, next year it could be hashtag cucumber, it could be whatever, it doesn't matter, as long as they get the occasion to march in the streets and bitch and protest and clap their hands like happy ass morons, that's what they want to do. So it's it's very, perhaps it's banal to say it, but as other MGTOW have mentioned, it's just a collective form of shit testing men. It's just to say, hey men, come on, we need more stuff. We need more free stuff. What are you waiting for?
Pay more attention to women. Well, I didn't. When you sent me some screenshots about Women's Month. And when I first saw that, I was like, I didn't really believe it. And then I turned the calendar over from February to March, and right there in front of me on the calendar is just a picture of important women and Women's Month, and it was like, okay, this thing's real. It's absolutely real.
And it's gonna get quite, well, I would say ugly, but very annoying. That's what I think. It's just very, very annoying. It's frustrating, it's annoying, it's always the same shit. So, and it's not just that, because, you know, going back to that, let me see, the International Women's Day 2018 campaign. So it's just a list of various days. It's in America, it's in England. So I went online on YouTube, and I started to watch these videos. But as I said before, you know, I don't know if now it's too early, but they're not really getting a lot of attention, because, as I said, I think that some people are just ignoring them. And of course, you know what they do. They obviously disable likes and dislikes and comments, you know, so that people don't get to say, you fucking morons, what the fuck are you whining about? So it's like, well, it's the use of shit.
There, I'm sharing my screen so they can see, the viewers can see the page we're looking at, International Women's Day.
Yep.
Yeah, go to that if you guys want to check it out. It's real. It's fucking. I didn't even know. I missed Women's Month last year. Like, I was in Canada last March, not the March before. March before I was still in Bali, but last March I was in Canada, and somehow I skipped right through it. I don't know how I did that.
Well, hashtag press for progress, and I also, well, I have here some videos if you want to watch. Well, they're kind of boring. It's always the same shit. But basically, yeah, like I said, it's just to ask for more stuff. Basically, to ask for more money, for charities only for women. And, you know, this is that I was thinking about this, because, you know, they're always marching in the streets and they're always protesting. And I was thinking, that's exactly what fascists do. Right? Isn't that what fascists do, to march in the streets and protest and shout and scream? Because I think that that's exactly what communists were doing in the Soviet Union. You know, they would march in the streets in Moscow. That's exactly what fascists were doing in Italy. They would march in the streets in Rome in the 1920s and 30s. It's like, when people don't have real arguments, what do? They start shouting, they start marching the streets, because they have nothing real no real arguments to give. So the only thing they can do is to march and to repeat the same slogans. That's what they do. The slogans repeated ad nauseum, you know, the sky's the limit, or we need equality, men and women are equals. It's just slogans repeating over and over and over. There's nothing real there.
Well, oh yeah, let's not forget, isn't Valentine's Day in February? What the hell?
Yep, I think it's mid-February, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so Rusky just said women in Russia have two holidays, Valentine's Day and Women's Day. Well, it's here too. I mean, Valentine's Day just passed. And it's trying, like, a lot of MGTOW guys are trying to co-opt that day, but, you know, it is what it is. You're not going to get rid of it.
But they have this, it's always the same goal, you know, the goal is just to be on the spotlight, you know, and to get all the attention, to get all the money, of course, from the state or from taxpayers and so on. I was thinking about this, you know, for some time. I was thinking that one thing that was missing in the MGTOW community was a goal, you know, because I think that a lot of MGTOW were trying to explain to other guys how things are working, you know, the concept of the red pill and so on, and but then, you know, that there was some time that some MGTOW, they called it, you know, even Barbarossa, he called it stagnation. A lot of guys, they didn't know what was going to be next. You know, they didn't know what's the next move. What's the next move? And I was thinking, you know, the next move would be to give MGTOW and to give other MGTOW a goal, you know, like a target.
Right.
And very specific target. And I was thinking, what could be a very useful target for MGTOW and for men in general? You know, what should they get? What should their target be? And you know, at this point, you know, the way I said to other guys, you know, I know that this sounds a bit crazy, but I think that the real target today should be the patriarchy. And this is not a joke. It's no joke, because this is getting so insane. I'm watching this video on YouTube, and they're just crazy. They're just, it's like mad people now. Now they're getting just truly mad. If you want, I can share this videos. You can watch them.
Yeah, sure. Send the link and I'll take a look at it.
Yeah. But they're completely fucking insane, like
Well,
completely crazy.
one of the things, okay, when you say patriarchy, I think
Uh-huh.
that means sort of men taking hold of the reins again, putting women back in their
Yep.
place. Um,
Yep.
right? So the problem is that the majority of men in society, I think, especially in the Western world, are terrified of women. They're absolutely terrified of them.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Yep. That's true. Yes.
so I mean, for I think,
So hang on a second.
yeah,
If they're terrified of women, why do you want to live in a society where women become the rulers? Because if that is the case, then you get as rulers, as leaders, people who terrify you.
yeah, absolutely. They're like a fascist ruler,
Uh-huh.
a cruel king, in other words. But the thing is women have that one thing. They have that one thing, and
Yeah.
it's called a pussy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I know.
So then what happens is it's sort of your oppressor has this unique ability to get your dick hard, and then
Yeah, that sucks.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
and that makes it, and that makes it rough for a lot of men. But this is true. I mean, MGTOW men, I think you can push for a goal of patriarchy within your own life to a certain degree. You can take control
Uh-huh.
of your. I mean, don't let your pussy possessed oppressor lead you around by the dick. Number one,
Uh-huh.
and number two, don't take shit from them. But again, that's a very
Yeah.
personal thing. I don't know, how well that would function on a societal level.
Well, I understand that, but just because there is an attraction. Okay, look, let's talk about different type of attraction. Okay, let's say that parents are attracted to their children, not in a sexual way, of course, but in terms of love and affection. There is something that is bonding them, right? So there is some sort of attraction. Again, a non-sexual attraction. But even if you love your children, you're attracted to them, you don't make them leaders. You don't give them power.
That's right.
To me, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. So one thing is, when you love someone or you're attracted to someone, you also have to understand the limits, because being attracted to somebody or to their bodies doesn't mean that you lose your mind and you stop thinking in a rational way. You can be sexually attracted to someone, but still understand that person that I'm sexually attracted to is not the right person to be a leader or to get political power.
Yeah.
Because the two things are completely separate. One thing is to be sexually attracted, that's perfectly fine. And a completely different thing is, I'm going to put that person that I'm sexually attracted to in a position of power, and then that person is just the wrong person to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You wouldn't give children power, but we give it to women. I don't know. This is kind of one of the great debates among MGTOW minds, is that I don't know. I don't think you can undo what's been done.
Oh.
A lot of people.
You never know. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
You never know. You look at Pakistan. You look at Afghanistan. You look at Iran. You look at these countries back in the 1970s. They were so, quote, egalitarian and progressive. Look at what happened to them. There can be a revolution at any time. You don't know. You don't know what the future is going to be like. You just don't know.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But it just
Sometimes people are so fed up, and they're so angry, and they're so pissed off of what's going on, that they go, just fuck it and just burn it all. I can't stand this shit anymore.
Yeah, true. Very true. I mean, I guess if you used Iran as an example, God, I've never been to Iran. I haven't been in the past or recently, so I can't say. But
Yeah.
if you were to believe the media, it looks as though
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
it looks as though the kind of what we were discussing before the chat. It looks as though the sort of what do I want to call it? The Muhammadist type of Islam is taking over in Iran. So you've got women wearing the burqa again. I mean, is this what's happening? Because I see it in the news.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then what you're seeing is if patriarchy is taking a hold again in Iran, if that's what you're saying, then it's coming through the form of Islam.
Well, I don't know what would you say, because you are Muslim and you lived there. You lived in Indonesia, right? Would
Yeah.
you say that isn't Islam a very patriarchal religion?
It is. I think all religions are very patriarchal. I mean, at their source, I think they
Yeah.
are very patriarchal. There's definitely within. I mean, as far as I understand the religions, I've studied religion quite in depth, and from what I understand is that all the Abrahamic faiths are very rooted in patriarchal methods. So women aren't expected to be treated unfairly. They're just expected to be treated and behave in a way that is along the lines of a woman, of a female. So there's a give and take. There's a give and take.
Which is fair. Which is fair, by the way.
It's fair, yeah. There's a give and take. I mean, for example, and I think I've mentioned this before. You got a woman is. You need 2 women to equal 1 man as a witness. Okay.
And I would be in fear of that. To be honest, I wouldn't be completely against that.
Well, there wouldn't be any Me Too hashtags if that was the case. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah, because too many women go around just saying some very stupid things, and sometimes men pay the consequence. So many men, and I've seen it in my life. Innocent men being punished for some shit that never happened. So that is crazy.
Yeah,
that's really fucked up.
And that's one example. And then another example is that when it comes to inheritance, the males are get like 4 times are supposed to be allotted 4 times that what the woman is getting. And so, there's a payoff. There's a give and take though, because men are awarded those things because they're expected to work for those things. So there's sort of a give and take when it comes to that kind of patriarchal method that, for example, you see in Islam, and it's mirrored in the traditional Christianity as well, and Judaism. There's a very big difference between a man and a woman and their roles that they're supposed to play. So on the outside of patriarchy looks wonderful for men because they're getting a lot of benefits, but when you dig a little deeper, there's a lot of responsibility men are supposed to take upon themselves.
Yeah, and that's no, I was thinking about that, yes, and you're absolutely right, and that's exactly what I was going to say, because I think that a lot of men today would be very suspicious of of living in a society that is structured like a patriarchy, because I remember some time ago there was a debate in the MGTOW manosphere, and I think even Barbarossa participated, and a lot of these guys, they were pissed off because somebody mentioned we should bring back traditionalism, and of course the most vocal, the most important MGTOW, they were saying no, we don't want that, because traditionalism was just as misandric and gynocentrism as feminism. It's just another form. So of course, who wants to bring that kind of patriarchy? But hang on, I'm not saying that we should bring back the patriarchy, right? That's wrong, because I'm not talking about a traditionalist form of patriarchy. If I think of the patriarchy of the 1950s and 60s, of course I wouldn't agree with that, because that put on men too much pressure, and it was a very destructive patriarchy. Because don't forget the fact that in that type of patriarchy, men had to constantly see other men as the competition, had to work really hard just to please their women. So basically women were still spoiled. It's just that the society was structured in a different way. So it's not about bringing back the patriarchy, but it's about re-elaborating the patriarchy.
Absolutely.
And to actually explore a different type of patriarchy, where instead of having a, how can I put it? A destructive patriarchy where men keep competing one against the other to favor females. It should be a more constructive, and it should be, instead of being so gynocentric, should be more androcentric. It should place men for once in history, right at the center of, because if it's men the ones who build society, then it should be, we should talk a little more about men's issues.
Yeah, it should be more androcentric.
We should focus a little more. It should, yes, of course.
And that's why.
Because the problem is that even though in those years, it was still very gynocentric. Men were killing themselves, they were dying, and still the focus was on women.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why it's kind of almost difficult to call it a patriarchy. Can a patriarchy be so gynocentric? That's obviously up to philosophical debate, but it does need to be. I agree. It has to be more androcentric. The whole our society needs to be more androcentric. I think,
Well, what if we make the difference between a gynocentric patriarchy, which is exactly what the patriarchy was like during in traditionalist times, and an androcentric patriarchy?
yes.
Maybe that is because when I went, I told I told you a bit of that, last hangout when Nick was around, and I told you that I've been to Abu Dhabi and to Dubai. But last time I've been to Dubai, and I really enjoyed it. I told you that, and it was awesome.
Everything
It
I've
was
heard
just
about
awesome.
it is great too. Yeah, I've got friends that are actually there right now. So yeah,
It was just fun. It was great. It was absolutely great. It's like the society was in control of things. Where I'm living here in Switzerland, in Europe, I go to England, go to Italy. It's like everything is so loose, and it's just there is no control. It's like it's just crazy. It's just completely fucking insane.
well, let me give you another example of what you might call a patriarchal methods within religion and with Islam. Everybody knows of the famous multiple wives. Polygyny is a huge part of Islamic culture, and it's not, and polygyny isn't just Islamic. It's a huge part of a lot of patriarchal type cultures. And the thing is okay. For example, in Islam specifically, the idea of polygyny falls completely on a man's responsibility of taking care of women. That's where
Yeah.
it stemmed in. 100%.
So it's still gynocentric.
It's still going to yeah, because
Yeah.
in other words, the way that it's written in the Quran is, if you can afford to, you should marry those widowed women, like marry them because they have children and their husbands are dead. You have to remember, in 15th century Saudi Arabia, life was short, especially for men. And so what you had was a lot of husbandless women. What are you going to do? They're a burden on society. All these single mothers were burdens on the culture at the time. So God says, come on, man up. Marry 2, 3, or 4 of them if you can.
Well, in a way, it's what the state is doing today. It's just marrying all women, right?
Yeah. Well, in the modern day religion of statism in the West, all men are married to all women through the state.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and through taxation, yes.
Yeah, man. Unfucking believable. If I had a choice, I'd rather just have my pick of 4 women than, be married to every single one of them through taxation in the state. Jesus.
Yeah, but what I saw there, there was some sort of the sense of brotherhood, and I noticed the men were very relaxed, and I saw fathers who were playing with their kids, with their sons. It was a complete different. It's things that we don't see here.
Yeah.
It's like way more relaxed, and things work much better, and I don't know. It's like an ideal society. That's the way I saw it. I saw it as an ideal society. A society with virtually no crime. You just can't do that, You can't go to Dubai and behave like a fucking asshole. Here in Europe, you can do whatever the fuck you want, It's like there are no rules. It's just insane. But there, it's clean, it's well organized, everything is just spotless, it's clean, everything is just good, it's just wonderful. And I thought, what do they have that it's making it works in such a good way? And I was thinking, well, maybe money. They have the money. But I was thinking, actually, no, I live in Switzerland. Switzerland is a very rich country. All right, so it's not just a question of money, because it's very tempting to think, well, Dubai is a very rich place, so they have the money, they can afford it. No, it's the mindset. It's the way the society is structured. And the society is structured in a completely different way. Boys and girls go to separate schools.
Yeah.
They don't mix in most circumstances. And it's a positive thing, actually.
Absolutely.
Because if you force males and females to be always together in the same environment, they're going to fight.
Yeah, and again, that's a very traditional. I mean, not saying it's in support of traditionalism, but within a lot of older cultures, there was a lot of separation of the sexes in a lot of activities.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays in the West, they don't even want to allow you your own bathroom space as a fucking male. So completely backwards. Oh, and by the way, if anybody that's just chimed in, I'm seeing some people appear in the chats. Hello, welcome. Jay and I are discussing Women's Month, and what better to discuss on Women's Month but men? That's what we're doing.
Yep.
But anyway, continue what you were saying. Hold on a second.
No, I was talking about let's talk about Dubai. No, about Women's Month. Women's Day. Not much else. Not much else. It's just that it's going to be. I think the 8th is going to be the date, and I think we're going to see some shit. And that was the Press for Progress, the new cool and trendy hashtag that we can expect to hear over and over and over for the entire month. So that's going to be very annoying.
Okay, I'm going to play this one video on the screen share that you just sent me. Gender diversity on U.S. boards, and that's like companies, right?
Yep.
Okay, hold on a second. I'll get it into the screen share. I'll play it without sound so we can discuss as it plays in the background. But they should be able to see that. It's basically saying all male boards are all but extinct among large companies. So I guess this is before this came out last year. But not almost a year to the date, pretty close anyway. So what this video is saying is that they're trying to push more women into heads of companies, boards of companies.
Yeah, basically what I was saying, some of these videos they disable the likes and the comments, of course. I mean, no surprise there. But basically they're just pushing for more women in the up. And I was watching it, I was reading it, I was thinking, yeah, in some fields, but why aren't you honest? Why don't you talk about all the fields? That's just so dishonest. You look at it and you can see the dishonesty, but how do you deal with these people? How do you talk about these things with these people? It's just impossible.
There's something nefarious though about the politics of forcing this parity. There's something very nefarious about it. I mean, what motivations are behind it? It doesn't make sense. Why would you force people into positions they don't want to be?
Well, obviously, I think it generates a lot of incompetence. I think you can see the quality just dropping and just going down because I have some personal experience in my life, because I was working at an international airport when I was living in Italy. I worked there for 5 years, from 1999 to 2003. When we started there, of course, the job was just shit, right? It was just shit because it was about loading and unloading airplane cargoes. It was just hell on earth, all right? Yeah. And of course, it was just men. There were no women doing that job.
The loading and unloading.
No, it was impossible. It's just terrible. You would kill yourself. You would just die, because it was like loading and unloading the bolts, cargoes with luggage, sometimes with coffins. It was just hell. All right, it was just, I would say, like more or less 100 luggage handlers, loading and unloading cargoes, and women were not doing those jobs, but women were working there. They were working inside the airport, in the cozy office, doing just very, very easy paper job. And but basically there were some sort of internal, how can I say, the possibility for some workers to upgrade, to have a better position. For example, to still work on the airfield ramp, on the airport ramp, on the airfield. But for example, giving directions, being some sort of like a supervisor. All right. But all of a sudden, before it was just for the men who were working there, but then they started to hire women doing that job. And the crazy thing is that they were putting women in those positions who didn't know how to do it, because they'd never been inside an airplane cargo. Giving direction, it's just insane. I don't even know how to explain. Just crazy. Just crazy. To give people a position just because of their gender is so wrong. I don't even know how to explain. It's just It's insane. It's insane because it's like, how the fuck, you get, there were guys who were getting that position because they worked there for 5 years. Okay, imagine that you and me are working there, and you've been working there for a longer time. You've been working on the airport field for like 5 years, so you know what's going on there. You know how to basically, for example, one of the containers is stuck inside an airplane, and you have to push it in a certain way. It's just hell. All right, people who work at an airport, on the airport, on the ramp, they know what I'm talking about, because sometimes some of these containers are old. They're made of aluminum, they're made of some metal, and sometimes it gets a little bent. Sometimes it gets stuck, and so some, like 2 or 3, sometimes 4 luggage handlers, some workers have to push it or pull it and push it. So you must know what you're doing. And not only that, you get the pressure. There are people behind. Come on, do it, move it. The airplane has to go. Come on, move it. And there is a lot of pressure. Yeah, imagine some stupid bitch. She shows up and she starts to shout at you. Hey, what are you doing? And she doesn't even know what the fuck is going on. She knows nothing about that. She knows nothing. She never set foot in a fucking airplane. Inside the cargo, I mean.
Yeah. Wow. So, I mean, actually, Nick and I discussed this sometimes in our talks, and we kind of coined it chicks in submarines. But it's sort of like, I guess the theme there is you're forcing women into roles that they really shouldn't be in, simply because they have a cunt. And I guess I guess Women's Day is all about that. Is that Press for Progress?
Yeah, Press for Progress. Yeah.
Shove women into any corner you can find. Make sure their voice is heard, even if they fuck the whole thing up.
Yeah. Well. Yep.
I think there's. I mean, obviously, all the MRA talking points and the anti-feminist talking points, they often discuss the idea of women. This falls into wage gap stuff, where women are just interested in different things, right? I mean, this is obvious. This is red pill 101 stuff, where women are interested in different things, but also by forcing them into these different positions just because they're women, it does fuck things up. And it depends on you. Like you said, your job was moving, a lot of physical work.
Yeah, physical work. But they were not going to do.
Yeah, the women
were not going to do.
The women aren't doing the physical work. They're just telling you how to do it.
They're telling you how to do it, but they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because they never did it themselves.
Yeah.
So it's like giving orders about. It's like I try to teach you how to play the fucking, I don't know, guitar, but I never played the guitar in my life. That's what I'm talking about. It's just
absolutely.
It's that insane.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. And the video I just shared with you, that's the one that I was talking about. So check that out and see what you think about, because that's the one that is. Hang on, let me see.
Okay, yeah, this is a short video too, so I'll play this one in the share screen. So actually, I'll put the sound on too, so you guys should be able to hear it as well. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the first one, yeah.
Okay, we should be able to hear it. So.
And this was uploaded the 2nd of March 2018, so like 2 days ago.
Join the March for Women. Don't let anybody ever convince you that it's unpopular. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Women are good at being foolish. They're good at that. Alongside petty thievery. Where is this, in London?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's in London.
Girl can live, learn, and earn with safety, dignity, as if in the Western world that doesn't already exist.
No, but the irony is that girls have it much better.
They have it much
boys.
better. Absolutely.
Much better. But that's the madness. And they shared this video like 2 days ago. All right, they're sharing these videos like women are going through a war, like girls are starving and women are being stabbed in the eye. When in fact, in reality, it's the exact opposite. Like the ones who are failing in schools are boys.
Yeah, boys are
And, you
failing
know, and
schools.
but not only that, they go to school and there are no male teachers and male professors. That's the crazy thing. You know,
Absolutely.
it's like, so not only they go home to their single mother household, you know, to the single mother because
Yeah.
the father is not there, the father is just kicked out, but also they go to school and there are no men because there are only women. So this is the nightmare, and you expect, you know, you expect people to march in the streets and protest against this, and you think, ah, okay, yes, that's good. They're protesting because they're saying, hey, where are the fathers and where are the male teachers and professors? No, the fucking Twilight Zone is that they are marching, but they're marching because women are apparently they don't have a very good deal.
Yeah.
Apparently, for some reason.
Okay, let me just
That's
finish this
fucking
video
Twilight.
off here. Let's see. Oh, there's your stereotypical black and Asian women and hijab wearing women. They're all in there.
This is the reason why I said
Look at that! Look at
that
that!
MGTOW should really get. Yeah,
Wait.
yeah, it's pathetic.
What the fuck is
It's
that?
pathetic.
What is that? It's a fucking Asian woman with a hijab and a worker's helmet on, a hard hat on.
Yeah. Well, basically, they're trying to convince people that women can also be construction workers,
Yeah, that
which
women,
is bullshit.
Women just do this stuff all the time.
No, because you look at the pictures, oh, that's so inspiring. I'm inspired. Like I want to be a construction worker because I saw a picture with a woman with a yellow
with a hard hat on. But you
of
know,
course.
this is okay. To be honest with you, if you go to again, I can only really fall under my own experience. But within Indonesia, within Asia, if a lot of these Southeast Asian countries, I saw women doing work that no white woman would ever tarnish.
I bet. Yes, of course, because this is the real shit. You know, Western white women are the most privileged and spoiled bitches in the whole fucking universe. And I think I said that in the other hangout with Nick. I said the most privileged human beings ever existed in the whole world were white American women living in the 1950s. No one was ever, in the entire history of everything, nobody was ever as spoiled and as privileged as they were.
I think
living
they still
in the
are.
richest. They still are, of course. It's just that more women are joining in. Like now, they're joining also blacks and Latinos and Asians. Like more women are just they want to be more parasitic. Like
these ladies in Africa. You know, they're just lined up, ready to receive the spoils of feminism.
Yeah.
Come on, bring it on home. I mean, look, here's another one, hard hat wearing Asian woman there. I don't know. Okay, so
this is why I said I think it's very important to understand that. Okay, at least they have a goal, a target. Of course, their target it's just bullshit because they're full of shit. You know, their target is equality and parity, and you know that's just garbage because they don't want that. They don't want real equality. They don't want to get their hands dirty. They want their men to be the disposable robots who are gonna do everything. But I think it's time for men to get real, for MGTOW to get real and say, okay, now we need to give ourselves a goal, and the goal should be real, should be serious, something real.
Yeah. Well,
it's not a joke.
I know
because I understand. You know, I understand a lot of guys are gonna say, "I'm not going back to fucking traditionalism." You know, the traditionalism sucks. You know, I don't want to go back to that bullshit because, of course, men were still disposable and expendable. I totally agree. This is the why. I'm sorry, I don't want to repeat this part, but it's very important to understand that patriarchy was very gynocentric and it was very destructive. And men were constantly at war because men were always fighting each other to steal each other's resources, to give those resources to females. Now, we learned from the past. We learned from the past that these destructive and gynocentric patriarchies don't really work and they don't really last. You know, in the end, what they produce is females' gender parasitism, right?
Yeah.
Hang on, I have my alarm. And this is the reason why there should be a goal, and the goal should be the patriarchy, but not. It's not like bringing it back from the past.
No. We're talking about an androcentric patriarchy.
Yes.
Not a gynocentric patriarchy.
A constructive, not a destructive, but a constructive patriarchy, an androcentric patriarchy based on brotherhood and understanding that since men are the ones who have risks and duties and responsibilities and dangers, and they're the ones who have to build everything, we should focus on men's issues first.
They should be the priority.
First. Yeah. They should be the priority. That's the meaning of androcentrism.
Yeah. That's really okay. So somewhere in there, in a constructive androcentric patriarchy, we will see a very progressive, and I mean a real progressive society, not the fucking hijacked term progressive by the left.
Yeah, I presume yes, actually, because I think of the past patriarchies where men used to be at war all the time, and war is a form of parasitism. It's like men are constantly at war with other men of other tribes, of other countries, because they're always trying to steal other men's resources, and we all know what's going on there. We know why men do that. We know that because they have to basically spoil their women. It's like you look at America, and America is the richest country in the world. All right, so it's the richest and most powerful country in the world, and you think, well, American women must be the nicest women in the world, right? because they must be so satisfied.
That's a punchline to a joke, man.
And there it is, exactly. And then you look at America and you see the most miserable, pathetic pieces of shit in the whole fucking world.
Well, Canada
These
too,
fucking cunts who are always upset. Well, Canada is a bit like America. It's a rich country. It's like we're talking about Western nations. We're talking about Western countries which are rich, which are developed. We're not talking about the fucking third world, right? Canada is not the fucking third world.
No, not
it's
the
not
third
India.
world. Yeah.
Right?
Well, Rico's mentioned the Middle East too. A lot of the Middle East is third world stuff, man. I mean, it's been. I mean, it depends. It depends on where you go. I mean. Saudi Arabia and the peninsula, they're not third world. Those people are leading industry over there. But
I lived in England and I lived in Australia, right? These are rich countries.
Yeah.
And I've been to America. I lived in Italy, lived in Switzerland. Switzerland is a very rich country. I spent 3-4 years in London, in England, right? English women are like the biggest, nastiest cunts in the whole fucking world.
Absolutely, man.
But you have no idea. It's like they live their entire lives with a perpetual chip on the shoulder. It's like they always give you a nasty look and they're never satisfied.
Oh, same with American, Canadian women, Australian women. They're the same.
White Western women. Yeah. Yes.
The most privileged species.
Of rich countries. So what do men learn? What do men learn from the experience? The more they try to attack and destroy other men to steal their resources, and they do all that shit to please their women, do you really believe that you're going to make your women happier?
Yeah. No, actually, a lot of men do, because they're sitting there choking down fucking blue pills. So they do. They do think that.
And that's a shame.
It is a shame. It's an absolute shame. And that's why I always kind of when nowadays when I'm asked about MGTOW, I always equate it to a discipline. To me, I think it's the closest thing in a single word I can describe MGTOW as. It's a discipline, because you're not being led around by your dick. You're not gagging on blue pills. It's a discipline, man. I mean, it takes a little bit of energy to discipline yourself as a MGTOW man. I mean, you really you're awake. You're constantly educating yourself. You're bettering yourself. So it is a discipline, And it's the only way that things are going to change is if more men are subjected to these concepts. And I'm actually quite impressed. The last talk we had with TFM last week, we went into a little bit of the sort of the downfall of MGTOW on YouTube, kind of the dark ages, I think he called it, which is a real thing. And I saw it happen, and it's still kind of happening to a certain degree. I mean, the golden age of MGTOW on YouTube is long past. But what I do notice is through other
You mean right before stagnation, right?
yeah, yeah. But what I do notice is that it's MGTOW's still alive and well, and I still see men coming in on other platforms just, happy, so happy. I love it. I just seeing these very ecstatic and joyful men going, "Hey, this is how I became MGTOW." So,
And it's a good thing. It's a good thing, but is it moving forward?
well, I don't know.
Is it really moving forward?
I think maybe at this point it's simply gaining population,
Yeah.
right?
Which is still a positive thing, by the way.
Yeah, that's positive. It's definitely positive because it needs to. I mean, the fewer simp men out there, the better.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of men who are actually, especially young men, and I watched some YouTube videos, where some people were trying to explain this phenomenon. There are a lot of young men who are actually in desperate need for some positive male role model. And I think that they were trying to explain it with the example of Jordan Peterson, right? This guy who was followed by so many young men. And some people couldn't even explain this phenomenon. Like, how is it possible that this guy all of a sudden...
And I think Jordan Peterson explained it, didn't he? I mean, I think, well, I don't know if he got it 100%, but I'm pretty sure he mentioned, like, these boys don't have male figureheads.
Yeah, they don't have fathers. They don't have male teachers. They don't have male professors. So, well, that's a sign. You see, it's a sign of the fact that a lot of young men out there, they are in desperate need for something, for a message, not necessarily for a messenger.
Yes,
but
a message. Absolutely,
certainly for a message.
Absolutely. I mean, people naturally.
But what if you give them a truly effective message? Because you said before, you were talking about Islam. You said, I was very curious about the message, not more than the religion, like the concept.
Yeah.
And there can be a powerful message, which is, in my opinion, a very positive, very constructive, and a very androcentric patriarchy. And that could be a very positive message. And I think that a lot of young men, they will think about it and think, hang on a second, that rings a bell. I didn't have a father. I never had a male teacher. I never had a positive male role model. I never had a male professor. And everybody around me was just mocking me and shaming me, treating me like shit, or accusing me of shit that I wasn't doing, calling me names. You're a pervert, you're a deviant, you are a child molester, you're a sex offender, you're a woman hater, you're a misogynist, you're a sexist, you're a pig. I bet that a lot of young men would think, hang on a second, that rings a bell.
Yes.
Do I want to live in this shit society? I don't want that.
Absolutely. And okay, this is where we're at, because you remember that interview that kind of really pushed Peterson's popularity over. Was it on BBC? He was invited to talk? Or Channel 4, sorry.
Yeah.
Channel 4.
Yes,
okay.
I remember that. But, it wasn't him. It was the blonde bitch. That was the number one thing that boosted the popularity.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was the nastiness.
But that's where we're at.
The white European woman who was just being nasty and spoiled. Yes. And I'm saying white not to underline the race. I'm not trying to underline the race. No, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to underline, it's the women of Western rich societies, the ones who should be the happiest of the whole world, and they're the most unhappy and saddest and most miserable.
Miserable cunts. Okay, well, Shibi said Kathy Newman was her name. So look, this is the thing though. This is where we're at with society. Peterson, by just the way society's been shaped, Peterson becomes this messenger for men, for young men. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. By hook or crook, by fate, by kismet, call it what you want. Peterson becomes this figurehead for a lot of young men. They come and they're lined up and they're listening to him and they're paying attention. Okay, they're paying attention to his message. Society turns around and goes, "This is not fucking acceptable," and that's where we're at. That's where we're at. That's what that woman represented. That is exactly what that woman represented. She represented where society's at when it comes to men suddenly getting a dose of an androcentric message. Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
But it's
when reason prevails over hysterical behavior.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
she was just being a hysterical cunt. She didn't make any sense. Her questions were just pointless, random, and stupid. And people were. I was reading the comments because the comment section was like a mile long, right? And everybody was like, "What the fuck is she talking about? She doesn't even address the point. It's like she can't even keep, you know, with the conversation." It was like he was talking about something, and she would talk about something completely different. It's like you're looking at a debate between reason and pure hysteria.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And again, this, I think that's a very good visual representation of an androcentric message compared to a gynocentric message. A gynocentric
There it
message is hysteria. It's hysteria.
Yes.
It's absolute hysteria. That woman needs to go rub one out and calm the fuck down.
So is it such a irrational message to propose this goal, like a real goal and a real target for MGTOW?
Absolutely
To
not.
give themselves a real target, and the real target is to spread the most androcentric message, which is about a constructive androcentric patriarchy, which is, I believe, at this point, since it's so bad that it can't get worse, all right? It's so bad. At this point, you can only look at this shit and say, okay, we really have to do something about this, because it's getting so insane that now it's like the fucking Twilight Zone.
Yeah. And you know, the androcentric message, I think that message is getting through, and that's why I think MGTOW population continues to increase. It doesn't increase quickly, okay? We can't close our eyes and open them again and see a large boost in population of MGTOW, because MGTOW in a gynocentric hysterical society, okay?
Yeah.
There is no room for proselytizing a message such as MGTOW. It doesn't work. It doesn't happen. Okay, and often this is and often again, but this is true for, I would argue this is true for any truth you're looking for, any red pill you want to swallow. It's not something that you can push down another person's throat. If you ask any MGTOW person, not one of them began to identify as MGTOW simply by someone trying to sell them the idea. Okay?
Yeah.
What happened was they heard a message, they compared it to reality, and then the shift began. Right?
Yeah.
So I think the message in MGTOW is very androcentric. It is trying to give quality and meaning to a man's life. Because
I'm not entirely sure about that, you know, because perhaps sometimes that's the case, you know. I would agree sometimes that is the case, but not always, okay? Because, you know, you mentioned before Turtle Thinking Monkey, you know, and sometimes I watch his videos, and I have to say, sometimes I agree with him, but sometimes I just shake my head, right? If you're trying to teach androcentrism, and you're trying to teach other men to care about men's issues, to care about men, and to understand that when I talk about the patriarchy, I do not mean the traditionalist form of gynocentric patriarchy.
Not the gynocentric patriarchy, no.
No. So I look at TFM, and sometimes I'm an honest guy. I say what I think. Sometimes I just shake my head, because if I have to look at a guy who allegedly is fighting feminism, so allegedly he's fighting misandry and gynocentrism, and then I find him putting makeup on a fucking sex doll and talking about fucking a doll, that is not my idea of an androcentric message.
Yes, something went a little bit wrong there. Definitely, I agree. Well, okay,
definitely.
Look,
definitely.
Okay, well, Shibby says he's sad. Yeah, he's a great content maker. Don't get me wrong, and I know he's a good guy. I've talked to him a few times. He's a nice guy. I don't have anything.
We are not hating. We're not hating on him.
Yeah,
it's not about hating on Turtle.
No. But I'm also critical of the sex doll thing, because if you guys were watching the show, you had to have heard the doll interrupting, and it was like, what?
Yeah, that was so annoying.
like like if you're gonna,
You won't believe it, but it was more annoying to me to watch that than for you guys to live it in the. When I was watching that, I was saying, what the fuck is it? Just,
well,
I mean, now men are interrupted by a fucking doll.
yeah, well,
Alright,
it's a
okay.
gimmick for him. It's a gimmick. I mean, that's his shtick. He makes
Yeah.
money by doing that, right? It's his shtick. It's his gimmick.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But the
Alright.
thing is what I found ironic was, for someone who preaches the pimp hand so much, he certainly doesn't have a hold of his own fucking doll, man.
Yeah.
Because I said to him, "Can you shut the doll up?" He's like, "No, it's she's good to me." it was at that point I'm like, okay, whatever. All right, okay, whatever, man. That's your shtick. That's your thing.
And she's real. I can touch her.
All right, but that's his thing. You know, that's his thing. I'm not into that. You know, and again,
Yeah.
I like to try to give messages to men that is empowering.
Yeah, exactly. That's not empowering.
I hate the word empowering because the feminists use it all the
Yeah,
fucking
because
time.
it has. Yeah, I know, I understand. It has been, it's infiltrated and hijacked by females. But that's when they start to take over. When they touch things, and then men say, "Oh, I can't touch it," so they take everything.
Yeah.
And then everything belongs to them. And so that's why I would say to men, don't do that. Don't do that mistake, because you're not gonna touch anything that they touch. In the end, you're gonna leave, and you're gonna be empty-handed.
Yeah.
You will have nothing because they will have everything.
Yeah. Rico was talking.
And that is completely messed up.
Rico's saying about he does run away on certain topics like dolls and hating on beta males, but lack of empathy. Yeah, I think there needs to be more room within MGTOW to be more empathetic to other males, because honestly, the message of MGTOW is intended, or it should be intended, to kind of pull men out of that blue pill haze they're in. Because I've yet to see, and I think it's impossible. When a man wakes up to what MGTOW is and the red pill, when they wake up to that shit, they don't all of a sudden go, yeah, you know what, I'm sick of the red pill, I'm going to go back to being blue pill. That doesn't happen. You can't.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, that's empowering, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's
No, I agree. I agree on that.
yeah. But anyway, if everybody else has just joined in, Jay and I are discussing. Might not sound like it, but the topic is Women's Month, because we're in it. We're in it, man. And this is the thing. Buckle in, guys, because it's only the 3rd. All right, we got.
Yeah, it's gonna start around the 7th and the 8th, especially the 8th of March. I think in some countries, like I said before, in Australia, it's going to be the 7th and the 8th, and then they're going to have. I have a long list of events that are going to happen. I think I shared it with you before, but
Yes.
I think it's going to be day after day. They're going to do certain different events. I think in England, in Australia, in other countries, it's going to be very annoying, but that's the way it's going to be. But then, of course. I think we're still on topic, because I was saying, we were talking about Women's March and Women's Day, International Day. But, I mentioned the fact that they gave themselves a goal, which is to be the miserable cunts they are and to break our balls all the fucking time and bitch and protest all the fucking time. I think it's our turn to say, now we have our own goal, which is to push that shit back and to say we want the patriarchy. That doesn't mean that we want the all-time patriarchy. We do not want the destructive patriarchy where men have to work like fucking robots and kill each other so the women become the spoiled bitches they were during, the first wave feminism and the suffragettes, that they were getting more and more free shit, right? That I'm not talking about that. I think the real target should be a completely new concept of a patriarchy, a reinvented patriarchy, which is focusing on men's goals, interests,
Yes.
Targets and issues, and that would be my message. That would be my first. If anything, if anyone wants to, I'd say just try to understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
I just hate the idea that somebody is going to misunderstand me and think, oh, JWG wants to do the old-fashioned traditionalist patriarchy. No, I don't want that.
No, we're clear here, guys. We're talking about an androcentric patriarchy. where the priority is men, because men they build society. Now, has anything like that existed before? Probably. I don't think you'll find it anywhere in the modern day. You might
modern day, no, it's very difficult.
You might find
unless you go, for example, to Dubai, because that's exactly what I spent like last time. I spent like 9 days, 10 days in Dubai. All right, in December and January 2008, just a couple of months ago.
Jay,
I was there for New Year's Eve.
I just got to interrupt you for a second. I need to quickly check on my son for a second. Keep talking, and I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep talking. Don't worry. To the ones who are listening, I was there and I spent like around 10 days, and it was just awesome. And it was just, I swear, you're thinking of a Middle Eastern country in the near Saudi Arabia. All right, you're gonna think that's Arabic, that's Islamic. There is the Sharia law. Oh my God! Wow, terrible, awful. No fucking way. You go there and you do go wow, but for the exact opposite reason. You're gonna see a society that works. It's spotless. People are nice, and there is some sense of brotherhood. I was going to mosques. I've seen so many mosques. I was entering mosques, and there were men who were just nice to one another. They were smiling. They were just friendly, and everyone was friendly and welcoming. No threat. Here, you go to England, you come to Switzerland. People they're awful. They're just horrible. And I would say that this is the result of a gynocentric society. It's what people are angry. It's just men are angry, and women, because men are in constant competition with one another. Women are angry because their crazy, insane demands can't be met. Because of course you can't please them.
Yeah.
You just can't. It's impossible.
Hold on
They're
a second.
asking for impossible things.
Megalith X is saying, "I'm sorry, but I'm opposed to even using the word patriarchy or androcentric. It is just confusing because it makes it seem like we are directly responding to feminism." Well, the problem is that feminism stole those words right out of the vernacular.
Yes.
They stole them. They hijacked them. They're not their fucking words. They're not their fucking words.
Exactly. That's a very good point.
But we need to take
Very
those words back and redefine them for what they truly are. Patriarchy is not a fucking mythical
boogeyman, a monster.
Yeah, under every woman's bed. Androcentric is very simple. It just means focused on male. So
exactly.
And the feminists never used gynocentrism. They don't use that word. They don't even know what the fuck that is. Type in gynocentrism into any program, and the spell check won't recognize it. Type in misandry. Spell check doesn't recognize it. It might now, but it never used to. I mean, we're talking about a vernacular that is old, that exists, but is kind of being redefined and pushed out. Certain words pushed out, other words being redefined. It's 1984. It's 1984, brothers. But and then he says, why not use new words? It's possible. It's possible. It's possible to come up with new words. But until that time, we work with what we've got.
But it's also because if you think about it, when some people, okay, like for example, we're talking about feminists try to sabotage the good name of a guy, all right, and they keep trying to trash him, to destroy his reputation. Until you start to think, hang on a second, let me look at what's going on, all right? Like what they did, just one example out of so many. Brian Banks, the poor guy, this African-American guy who had to spend like around 10 years in prison because his fucking cuntish girlfriend, she lied about rape. He never raped her, all right? And she did that, by the way, she did that with his mother, all right? With her mother. The girlfriend and the mother lied about rape, not because they wanted to ruin him. No, because they wanted to make money out of the school, right? Because they were planning to sue the school because apparently, according to the scheme, the school failed to protect her, so the school had to pay her. And yes, the school gave her $1.5 million.
Wait. Who is this? Who's the guy?
Brian Banks.
Brian Banks.
You know that?
And
yeah.
What school?
Okay, basically they were in college or something like that. He was like a footballer. He was like becoming, at the beginning of his career, he was becoming a notorious, a famous footballer or something like that. And he had a girlfriend, and this girlfriend basically,
Mistake number
I don't know,
one.
well, basically she accused him of rape, and that never happened. All right.
Yeah.
So police officers went to him and they said, "You have to admit it because it's gonna be you. You have to say that you did it. Otherwise, you're gonna ruin your life or some shit." They started to menace him. It's just such a fucked up story. It's just unbelievable. So basically, he was in such under pressure, that he said, "Okay, maybe what's gonna happen if I say yes, I did it? Oh, okay, you're gonna go to prison, but just for 5 years, something like that. Just something like that."
Damn.
And basically, he made that mistake. Okay, that was silly, but you have to understand he was young, so much pressure, the police inspector. So he said, "Yes, I did it." He didn't do it because later the woman, she said, "No, it was a lie. He didn't rape me." But basically, they arrested him, and he spent 10 years in prison. 10 years. 10 years in prison. All right? And that's all because she was, again, like I said before, she was not trying to ruin him. She was only planning to take the money from the college. Like, I'm going to sue the college and going to say the college didn't grant my safety.
So his life being ruined was just consequential. It was just, I guess his life got ruined too. Oh well. Damn.
Yeah, but you see, I'm telling this story. This is one of the many stories, But you look at these stories and you think, hang on a second. Somebody, some people are trying to ruin a guy's reputation. Let me investigate. Let me see if it's true or not. All right. You try to investigate because you want to see whether that is true or not.
Yeah. Well, this is okay. So, but I mean, here we are celebrating Women's Month by talking about the nature of women, of some women here, and it is apprehensible. It is what's the word? It's horrible. I don't even know how to say it. This type of behavior.
But basically, okay, the reason I was giving this example is because patriarchy. We were talking about the patriarchy. The fact is that women and feminists especially has spent, and I'm sick and tired of saying feminism because it's just women. We know that.
Yeah.
Women have spent decades, shaming this word, using this word the wrong way. They started to hammer on people's heads. The patriarchy is evil. The patriarchy is a societal structure put there by men to oppress women. That's bullshit. Why don't you do your investigation? Like Brian Back, you know that this guy is being falsely accused. Don't you want to do your own private investigation to see whether that is true or not, whether he is innocent or he is a criminal, right? So you should do the exact same thing with the patriarchy. And I think, hang on a second, they've been telling us that the patriarchy is this monstrosity. Why don't you do your own investigation? Because chances are that they're lying to you once again. They have other goals, like the woman and her mother. Mm-hmm. They had a goal to make money, to get $1.5 million from the college.
Yeah. And they succeeded, right?
They did.
So they got rewarded.
And they succeeded even with the patriarchy. They succeeded because if you repeat a lie long enough, you repeat the lie over and over, people sooner or later they're going to believe you.
It becomes real.
And they've been lying. Yeah, they've been lying about the patriarchy. The patriarchy is this evil societal structure. They've been saying that for decades now, to the point that even men today, a lot of men, oh yeah, the patriarchy. No, the patriarchy is wrong. It's wrong. Now, the biggest slap in the face, all right, the biggest justice or revenge, you can call it the way you want, I don't care, it doesn't matter, but I would say even more importantly, the biggest message here is no, actually the patriarchy, since you've been talking about the patriarchy for so long, and since you've been talking shit about the patriarchy for so long, actually now I'm getting curious about the patriarchy. I want to investigate. I want to see whether the patriarchy is a good thing or a bad thing.
If it's a real thing.
And I've come to the conclusion that actually that, the scary boogeyman might be the one thing that might save men from this hell.
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, again, androcentric. Megalith X says androcentric concerns, but you're right. We need to affirm within the ego of men things like stoicism, like he says here in the chats. qualities of men. I mean, these are qualities of men that allow them the responsibility and duty of governing a society, creating and tending to a society. But with those responsibilities, we're supposed to get a lot of perks. You see, what a gynocentric patriarchy, or the boogeyman patriarchy, what it has done is it has allied all these responsibilities on men, especially when it comes to engineering society, the infrastructure of society, but with no perks, no benefits. You know what that is? That's a slave, man.
Oh, that's parasitism. That's why I call it gender parasitism.
Yeah. Parasitism. There you go. I mean, that's the kind of culture we're living in today. This gynocentric patriarchy. It's parasitism. You're absolutely right. So you guys, all you men out there, you're basically a host to a parasite, which is the modern woman.
And the only solution, in my opinion, is to understand, that since they claim everything, they infiltrate the language. They enter words.
Yes.
And they distort the meaning of these words.
Yeah.
All right. They fuck up all the meaning. They destroy all the meaning of these words, and because they're trying to generate emotional chaos. Right? It's like emotional madness. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Confuse you. It's one way to try to defeat others, to confuse them, so that they don't know. When your enemy is trying to confuse you, so you don't know where the enemy is. You're looking around left and right. Where's the enemy? Where's the enemy? Where's the enemy? And you don't see the enemy. You're confused.
They not only infiltrate language, but anything else. Like they'll infiltrate anything that's of high culture. They'll infiltrate and just fucking tear it down. So
the way we talked about it, remember I said they infiltrated gay organizations?
Yep.
The way they did it with the army and the military.
Yep.
The way they did with Boy Scouts. Now there are girls in we got to the point that girls are now in Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
If that is not completely fucked up, I don't know what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
That is just completely fucking insane.
Well,
right? So just madness.
Absolutely. And they can't. Women, Megalith says women can't do anything without male support. Yeah, women. Honestly, I'm in my 43rd year as a human being on this planet. I am convinced that women lack really any ability to create anything. The only thing they can create is what nature gave them.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Which is a lie, by the way, because I was talking about that in a live hangout, and I explained that is another lie. That is not true, because there are a lot of people go around saying, well, it's true, women can't create anything, but they create life. And I say, bullshit, they don't.
They don't create
life,
they just carry it for 9 months.
We are the carriers of they don't put molecules together. They don't attach atoms or molecules or cells.
They're just a womb, man.
They're the womb. There it is. They're just the biological incubator.
Yeah, that's all they are. They're an incubator. That's it, and that's all they're really good for.
So the whole thing is orchestrated by the DNA, by the genetic code. It's not that women wouldn't even know where to start. No, the baby is not created by women, unlike a lot of people believe. The baby is created by the genetic code. It's the DNA. That's the programming.
Yeah. Yeah, the genetic code's in the sperm. It's in the sperm.
Well, I guess that,
Cabin Boy's in. Hello, Cabin Boy.
that?
Cabin Boy's in. He's another moderator of mine.
Yeah.
He's the fella that I had on a while back. Hey, Cabin Boy, good to see you, brother. He's a newly swallowed red pill man. Cabin Boy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so anybody coming in now, we're talking about the Women's Month. I wanted to call it Cunts Month, but I figured it might not.
I almost heard women's cunts.
I was going to title it the show Cunt Month, but I figured YouTube might do, I don't know, delete it or some shit. So it's
Yeah.
so it's Women's Month, which it is this month. Everybody, dig in, guys. We got 30 days of this shit. And you thought the rest of the months were normal. Get ready. Okay, it's like
Hashtag press for progress.
yeah, hashtag press for progress. So I don't know. You know what I would suggest people to do this month is dig in and spread some more words. Spread the MGTOW word when you can. But at the same time, try to document any bullshit women are doing, like in your own hometown. If you see some kind of shitty march, document it. I don't know. Go out there with a MGTOW sign in the middle of the women's march. That's causing shit is always a good thing to do.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah.
But anyway, if you got any more of those links or videos we can tear apart?
Oh, actually, yes, I have loads. I have a lot of them. I just have to find them because I put them on my YouTube channel in a playlist. Hang on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to find them. Where is it?
So Megalith took the red pill in 2016. Wonderful, 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 brother. And actually, I didn't miss that comment you said about Mithraism. That's interesting to me. I'm going to look that up. I want to look up Mithraism.
Okay, this one here.
Okay, I got this one.
1st of March. I'm trying to share all of them so that you can make a selection and you can choose which one you want to.
Okay, it's just after you sent me a few, we'll kind of go in and look at them. But yeah, again, Mithraism. I don't know much about that. Actually, it's the first time I've ever heard that. So that's fascinating to me. If it's like a male-centered or androcentric religion, that's fascinating to me.
And it would be a very good thing. It would be a very useful thing, because I certainly do agree with you, Ayam, when you say that religion does have some power on people.
Yes.
Right? Because I am an atheist, and I admit it. I don't really believe in religion. I don't believe in gods and deities. However, I am aware of the fact that atheism unfortunately has its limits.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of limits because it doesn't have a powerful message, and people don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear you're gonna die, you're gonna stay dead forever, and there's gonna be no justice. All right, nobody wants to hear that. The Twilight Zone starts when you, as an atheist, are watching a great debate, one of the greatest debates, a debate between Richard Dawkins and John Lennox at Oxford University, and that was some years ago, probably 10 years ago. And they're both scientists, and Richard Dawkins was there as an atheist, and John Lennox was there as a Christian. And I was watching that as an atheist, and sometimes I just had to agree with John Lennox. I just had to.
Yeah.
Because he was just saying things like, nobody wants to hear that they're gonna die and gonna stay dead forever, and nobody wants to hear that there is no justice, and there will never be justice, and nothing can be done.
Well, the question
and
is,
Richard Dawkins was answering. Richard Dawkins was answering with things like, "Well, too bad. You're not gonna get justice. So what?" And nobody wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that. And I was listening to that as an atheist. And I was thinking, I don't want to hear that shit. That's just terrible.
Can any structured organism or society or culture function without justice? I mean, can it? That's the argument.
Because it's gonna eat you alive from the inside. When you suffer some tremendous injustice, you need to know that in the end justice will prevail. And that is horrific. When two fucking cunts, a woman and her mother, are plotting against an innocent man, all right, just to steal money from a college. They put their hands and their dirty eyes on money, and they don't give a fuck that an innocent man is in prison. He's spending 10 fucking years. Can you imagine? And they had no remorse.
Yeah.
After those 10 years, the woman was like, well, yeah, I tried. I didn't. They didn't get punished, of course. No punishment, of course. Women, they get away with it. And the woman was saying, no remorse. Didn't give a fuck.
No, of course not. And I want to add to that and say that I think a lot of people might chuckle to hear that in traditional style Islam, you know,
Yeah.
the Mohammedism, the Wahhabism that is all over the world today. That's the face of Islam in the world today. It's not the real Islam. It's the face we see. This Wahhabism, or this Mohammedism, I call it. They believe, and you might get a chuckle out of this, they believe that hell is filled mostly with women.
I wouldn't be surprised, you know. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
They preach that shit, man. It's incredible.
Yeah.
If you go to a masjid somewhere in Southeast Asia and you sit down and listen to the guy preaching on a Friday,
Yeah.
on a
I
Salat
wouldn't be
Jumat,
surprised at all.
you'll catch him on one day. He'll start preaching about hell is filled with mostly women. it's incredible.
Wouldn't be surprised at all, you know.
Once I heard that, I was sold. I'm a Muslim. Fuck this.
Well, me too. Count me in. Yep.
So you're telling me hell's filled mostly with women? All right, I'm sold, man. Where do I sign up?
Yeah. But also, you know, the message about, we said the positive message about an androcentric patriarchy, but also, you know, it's also a message about the drug, all right? Because the drug is also very powerful, and it's too many men are hooked on the drug, and that's not a good thing, all right? So you said before, and I accept what you said. You know, I understand most men are straight and most men, you know, pussy. I understand that. I understand it 100%, all right? But not to the point where it becomes a drug that is actually killing you. You know, it's like when you are on the drug and you even have to go around bragging about the fact that you have to spend all your resources to get this drug that is slowly killing you. That's not a good thing. That's not a positive message.
Absolutely. And you know what? This is why I say that MGTOW is a discipline. Because, my fellow MGTOWs, when you're out on the street and you see a woman in distress, you must discipline yourself not to assist her. Okay?
Yeah.
When you're out on the street and you see a woman being mistreated by another man, you have to discipline yourself. Do not step in there.
I agree with that 100%. That's exactly what I do. Exactly what I do, 100%.
It's a discipline. So this is why I'm saying these are these disciplines, and God, any man can understand how disciplining yourself is a positive thing. It's beneficial. It's very androcentric, if I might say. So as a man, as a MGTOW, you need these disciplines, man. You need to exercise yourself. Go when you see a woman in distress. Don't help her. Don't help her. All right. Of course, at the same time, I'm not advocating to be an asshole. You know, try and be a nice person, but you know, don't go out of your way to fucking impress a woman or help a woman. You know, just don't do it. Don't try and flatter a woman. You know, it's so instinctual for a lot of men. If a woman has a flat tire, you know, it's funny because I helped a woman fix her flat tire last summer, and let me just quickly tell that story. So I get out of work, and this is back when I was a smoker. So I don't smoke anymore, but back a year ago I was a smoker. So are you still there, Jay?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So I go to the store, the gas station. I want to pick up a package of cigarettes. I just finished work. I'm like, I want to go home. I don't remember what day it was, but it was a nice summer day. I'm like, I want to go home and relax. I walk into the gas station to buy a pack of cigarettes. Not only as soon as I open the door, right? I don't even get to approach the counter and ask for the cigarettes. This woman, as soon as I open the door, she just looks at me and goes, "Excuse me." Remember, she's standing in a gas station. "Can you help me?" And I'm like, "Okay, what's going on?" She goes, my car is across the street at the corner there. You can see it from here. She points to it. And I go, "Okay." She goes, "I have a flat tire. Can you help me fix the flat tire?" And I swear to God, man, it took me a few seconds. It felt like an eternity to respond, because I wanted so badly to just say, "Go fuck yourself." I wanted so badly, right? And then of course this is the line where you like, do I want to be an asshole, or do I just fucking do this? So yeah, call a tow truck. So anyway, I ended up helping this chick, spur of the moment. So it was an old lady, and she was with her daughter, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, you guys haven't learned how to fucking change a tire? Really? Like, my God, man, you're fucking, how old? You're older than me, and you can't change a goddamn tire? So I did. I ended up helping this woman change, and guess what? When I got to the car, it was the right front tire was flat. She was kind of parked up close to the curb, and I'm like, all right, pull out your jack. She couldn't find it, right? Can't find her fucking jack. Then she pulls out this half-ass broken apart jack that I'm supposed to work with, and I'm like, holy Christ! So I'm already there, so I go, okay, well, I got better try. So I'm working with this shitty jack, and then as I'm struggling, she goes, oh, wait a second, I found the part that's missing, because her trunk's obviously full of junk and garbage.
I bet.
And so, make a long story short, yes, I changed the tire for this woman. But I'll tell you, man, if she had caught me at a little bit on a different day, I might have said, go fuck yourself, you know? I certainly didn't walk away, you know, wiping my hands of the filth. And, you know, I didn't walk away feeling proud wiping the filth off my hands. No, I didn't. I was just like, Jesus Christ. But anyway, so yeah, it's going to happen. Women are infantile. So there's going to be situations in your life where, you know, a woman's going to ask you to move something for her, or pick something up, or change a tire, or whatever.
Yeah, they're so equal to men, but they're still expecting you to be the servant, right? You still have to do everything that they don't want to do. You're like very strong and very independent until they need you to do their shit.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, and it's very. You'll be surprised as men how instinctual it is for you to just fucking jump in the way of the bullet. You need to discipline yourself out of that. You really got to unwash your mind from that, because that's dangerous, man. The last thing you want to be is just a corpse on the ground because a woman was in distress. You know, your life isn't worth that shit.
Yeah, that instinct is just not only very counterproductive, sometimes it's very bad for other men, because you know, a lot of guys, they're thinking, oh, I'm helping the woman, but you don't know if that woman is screwing another man. You don't know if she's just backstabbing her boyfriend or her husband, you know.
Which is most likely, actually.
No, you shouldn't do that.
It's most likely.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
so don't do that, because you could be that guy, you know, and you don't want to be in that situation where some other guy is just stepping in the fight there, and he's helping your woman while she's destroying your life. You know, you don't want that.
No, you don't. And it's sad too, because men will hurt other men for the sake of a woman, and that's one thing that really pisses me off, man.
You really pisses me off too. Yeah, 100%. You have no idea. Yep, that sucks.
Yeah, that's why white knighting is. I mean, snuff that out, fellas. If you ever see that, any man that white knights, he needs to be shamed, because I'm not. You know, I'm an advocate of. I think shame is a wonderful thing. Shame is what can be a driving force into improving your life. All right. So, you know, if you see a man who's white knighting, shame that motherfucker. Shame him. That's really sad.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. It's dangerous. It's wrong. It's immoral. It's just immoral.
It's absolutely immoral. Okay, I'm gonna show a couple of these videos here that you've sent to me.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to share the screen again. I wish I had two monitors. This would be easier. Anyway, here we go. This is the next one. You'll hear the sound. Follow at Women's 100 for events leading up to hashtag IWD. What the fuck is that? Oh, it's International Women's Day. Okay. All right, here we go.
Women have died to get the vote for women. And actually, to get the vote for everyone.
Women have died to get the vote for women? Are you fucking kidding me?
I know. Because I told you, they exploit other people's narrative. That's what they do. They're gender parasites. I use these words, gender parasites. What they do is that they steal not only resources, but sometimes even stories.
Yeah, history.
It's men the ones who are the ones who had to die in history. So what do gender parasites do? They infiltrate they corrupt, and they hijack the narrative. They steal it. They're basically stealing what happened to men.
Unbelievable. Who is this old cunt? You should know better, bitch. But this is the thing. Women have died to get the vote. That is such a load of shit. A load of shit.
It is.
And I'm sick and tired. And I recommend you guys listening, if you're listening, stop using this concept of first, second, third, fourth wave feminism and romanticizing it as it being something positive in the beginning. It never was. Feminism was never a positive thing. Don't romanticize it. I hate that too. This woman, if she, I don't know.
This video is very recent, right?
Yeah,
they uploaded it like
this is
a week ago, 10 days ago?
February 6th, a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
3 weeks ago. So, but it's almost a month ago. But the thing is look, okay, so this is modern. If this woman has any inkling of history, if she's talking about women's right to vote, she's obviously talking about the suffragettes, and a lot of MRAs and anti-feminists. They do this bullshit where they romanticize this age of the suffragettes. Stop.
Yeah.
This needs to stop.
It sucks. It really sucks.
These
it's ridiculous. It's like when they say, "Oh, modern feminism is bullshit." It's not like the old days feminism. That was a good one. No, it was all bullshit from the beginning to the end. It was all shit from the late 1800s.
Yes.
Like the very first feminist was a cunt.
Absolutely. Do not romanticize this shit. Like, okay, the suffragettes were fucking insane. These were wealthy, upper class women who already had the fucking right to vote because their husbands owned land. Okay?
Yeah. And these women were diagnosed. I remember I told you they were diagnosed with boredom.
Absolutely, man. These are the women.
They were diagnosed with boredom.
These are the women that shut down alcohol in the United States. Because
prohibitionism, yeah.
Yes. These are the women that started prohibition, for fuck's sake. The only woman that ever, the only suffragette that ever died for this illusion of getting women the right to vote was, I don't remember her name now, but some insane suffragette that ran out onto a racetrack during a running. There was a horse races happening. She ran out onto a racetrack with a sign and got hit by a horse and died.
Yeah.
That's the only fucking woman that died.
Women who had to die for the vote. Yeah.
Jeez, is that who she's talking about?
Had to die like a fucking moron.
Yeah. In a hysterical fucking panic, runs onto a
but
racetrack.
In those years, don't forget that these were also the women who were making false rape accusations against African American men. You know, it's
Absolutely.
like, and they got no fair trial. They were being hanged. They were hanging these guys. All right.
Yeah.
Black men were just without a trial. They were killed. They were hanged. Yeah. Just like that.
Oh yeah.
Because some spoiled bitch said, "Oh, that you see that Negro there? He touched me without consent."
Yeah. It's a power trip too, and a lot of them probably did fuck them. They probably just seduced them.
It is a power trip, and that's spot on. That's a power trip. It's like I want to shit test my men and see if my men are at my command. Like I snap my fingers, like you see that Negro there? I want you to kill them. Prove that I'm the deity. Prove that I'm the spoiled cat. And they're doing that today. It's just that they're doing that not just to black men, but also to white men. And they're shit testing their men, their man, and their man is the state.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's keep going on this video because this woman is a fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. I told you I have loads of these. I have many of these videos. They're just insane.
Okay, I'm gonna listen. Here we go.
That struggle, honour that pain, honour those fallen, to exercise our democratic rights now. So. If I think about my own students,
she's a teacher. Okay, so she's a fucking teacher. She's probably a gender studies professor. Jesus Christ, man! How do these women get jobs teaching at universities when they don't have a fucking clue of what even history is? I don't know.
Well, they don't need to, because all they need is I have a vagina, therefore.
Well, and an agenda.
Anything.
They have a vagina and an agenda. All right.
Yeah.
A vagina alone is bad enough, but then you fucking give it an agenda? Jesus Christ. Let me finish this video. It's only a few seconds.
Who will be voting for the first time.
And when you watch this shit, do you really fear the patriarchy? I mean, I would sign the document right now. I would live in the picture now. Just give me the picture now.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on, I'm going to play it.
Not the council elections. It's really important. I try and kind of say to them why it's important to use their voice, because people will often say, students will often say, actually, why should I bother? Because they're all the same. And in fact, they're not all the same. I think it's down to us to determine what we believe in, what political party we believe in, and actually you go to the ballot box and cast our vote.
All right, well, some old British cunt is not impressive. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so anyway, we're giving you small doses of what's to come here, gentlemen. Buckle in.
Yeah. And have fun. Enjoy the shit show. There's more from the shit show.
There's absolutely more from the shit show. I'm going to show some more. Let me just quickly go look at see what we got in the chats going on here. Looks like a carpet muncher, sure. Absolutely. Diagnosed with boredom.
Yeah.
So, Donnie Darko, who is this guy? I don't know. Jay, I'm with Jay. Jay's my guest. You don't know Jay? Me and Jay we've been talking for a long time. We've been around. We know each other for a while.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, I'm gonna go to another video. Hold on, not that. We did this one already. We did this one. How will you press for progress? Okay. All right, here we go. How will you press for progress? Are you ready?
There it is. That's a cool and trendy hashtag for this year. March the 8th, guys. Don't forget, press for progress. It's very important.
Okay, let's hear what it has to say. Okay, here we go.
How's it going, Donnie?
Lag, I think. Didn't lag. Okay, I'm going to mute that because the noise is completely unnecessary. I don't even know what this means. You there, Jay?
Yes,
Okay.
I was also watching. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell this means. What does it mean?
I don't know, because they're full of shit, and sometimes they're just completely. No, the message is completely hysterical. There is no logic. It's just.
There's no message.
I told you, since they move through emotional chaos, and it's just how can I say? It's all hysteria. Don't expect any logic. What kind of logic can you see in hysterical behavior? There's gonna be no logic at all. It's just slogans. Their marches, their parades, their actions are all about empty and lame slogans, like 1960s and 1970s. The sky is the limit. What the fuck does that mean? It's like the sky's the limit. It's slogans. That's what they give. They give people slogans because they don't. That's what happens when people have no real argument. They start to use slogans.
Wow. I'll tell you, man, that if you guys saw that video, it made no fucking sense. What the fuck did that even mean? What are they trying to sell here? You're right. They don't. Do you remember? Didn't they have a march? Was it in December? Wasn't it back in November for the year anniversary of Trump being in the presidency? And the women marched. Didn't they march? The women marched, right? It was sometime in November.
And it was already, I think it was already the hashtag #MeToo, something like that.
Yeah, so there was a march, women march. I remember watching the aftermath in social media of that, and people were, going around with microphones asking them, what are you doing here? And they didn't know. Like, they had no idea what they were doing. I saw people interviewing women, and they're like, why are you here? And they're like, well, they didn't fucking know. They had no clue. They were just somebody.
It's the mindset of collectivists. They just need to form a collection of hysterical idiots, but they don't even understand what they're doing, because it's just all emotional chaos and psychological manipulation, empty slogans. It's just bullshit.
God. Well, yeah, I don't. Who the hell is Donnie Darko? Who are you, Donnie Darko? Because you know my real name. Quit using it. Quit using it in the chats. Jesus. Anyway,
There's a guy. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, let's do one more of these videos here. I think I got one. I got one left here. This one's not loading up. I think we're experiencing a little bit of lag, guys, so just bear with us. You know, this is Canada. We're practically a third world country. Okay.
Oh, come on! Don't believe it's so progressive. You have Justin Trudeau, Trudeauina.
We got a
Trudeauina, the ballerina in India.
We got a cuck run in the country, and I swear to God,
Yeah.
the guy's fucking the bastard son of Castro. Don't tell me he isn't, because he is. All right.
Oh, he's an idiot.
Okay, so here's the next
He's a
one.
puppet.
No, of
right?
course he
It's
is.
just a puppet.
International Women's Day is on the 8th of March.
This year the theme is
Press for progress.
There it is again.
Let's all press for
How will we
progress.
press for
I will
progress?
always
Oh,
include
look at here
and
comes.
support women.
I will always use inclusive language.
I will work to remove
Yep.
barriers to women's progress.
Okay. Here we're starting to get a little bit beyond the slogan, because the last video I saw made no fucking sense. Now this is where they gear up, because what they've done is they've now gotten a whole bunch of manginas to stand up and define for us what it means. Here's the first one.
Yeah, the male feminists, the manginas, the white knights, doormats.
Oh, just with no self-respect at all.
No.
So this guy says, how will we at Gibbs Hybrid? What the fuck is Gibbs Hybrid? This has got to be some company, I guess.
Gibbs, I don't know.
Well, anyway, so here he says, how
Gibbs Hybrid, press for
I will
progress.
always include.
I will always
And this was
include-
uploaded like 2 days ago, right?
Yeah, this
just
is-
like 2 days.
This is new, man. Yeah, this was yesterday. Published March
Yes,
2nd.
yeah.
So I will always include and support women. Damn, I guess you can't argue with that. That's a positive thing, right, guys? Holy fuck. Okay, let's see what else they say.
And support women.
I will always use inclusive language.
Okay, I will always use inclusive language.
It's important.
What the fuck is inclusive language?
They're just You don't understand. They're just repeating what these women are telling them to say. Okay, now you're gonna say that you're gonna use inclusive language, and you say, "Yes, mommy, of course, I will use inclusive language."
What does that mean, inclusive language? Like I should use words like nigger and ginger? Is that what we're talking about? Like, how inclusive do you want to be?
I guess that what they mean is you're not allowed to say policeman. You have to say police officer, right? It has to be neutral.
Like
otherwise, if you see a policeman, you're not allowed to say a policeman. You have to say police officer. Otherwise, women get all bitchy and upset. It's like, why are you saying policeman? That's a person.
Well, it's like Trudeau said, it's not mankind. We like to say people kind.
Sure, you moron.
Holy shit. All
What
right.
an idiot. Well,
I don't know, man. I don't like their definition of inclusive language. I want to be able to say nigger and not be a nigger, all right? That's what I want to do. That's inclusive to me. All right, let's keep going here.
I will work to remove barriers to women's progress.
I will work to remove barriers to women's progress. What fucking barriers?
imaginary.
Which barriers? Quick, someone in the chats.
Imaginary. No, they're completely fabricated oppression, so imaginary barriers.
Yeah, they are imaginary barriers. That's easy. Those are easy to remove. Just stop imagining them. Right?
Exactly.
Help me remove my imaginary barriers. Easy. Stop imagining them, bitch. Just stop it.
Well, it's
Identify
one of the
ways to make
reasons why I
women more-
started to call it gynotheism, because it works just like it's some sort of a cult, of female worship. It's like they created in their heads this sort of religion of woman worship, where the woman is like Jesus.
You mean
Jesus
Catholicism?
is this, well, kind of like, because in their eyes, in their minds, women are always good and nice and kind, a bit like Jesus. But just like Jesus,
No, no.
women are crucified, women are tortured, women are treated in a very poor way, in a very unfair way.
Catholicism doesn't actually worship Jesus. Jesus is just a figurehead. What they worship is the vagina he came out of.
Well, yes, I totally agree with that. That was just an example.
Yeah.
The reason why I call it a gynotheism, it's like the religious cult of woman worship, is because these guys, like for example, that in Islam you're not allowed to criticize God or to criticize Allah, right? It's like you have to accept religion the way it is if you're a Muslim.
Within sort of the modern Mohammedism, your heresy is a crime, right?
Well, imagine that we are talking about gynotheism, and in this sort of religious cult of woman worship, you're not allowed to criticize women. You're not, because it's like you're criticizing the deity, and that's just forbidden. You have to always say good things about the deity, about women. Women are these wonderful deities that they're always perfect, they're always right, and if you even criticize them, you are committing a sin. You are a sinner, and you will be banned.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Pay attention, gentlemen, because I have examples of this constantly in my life. I like to make jokes with where I work. There's a in the store that I'm working at currently. There's we use a machine for debit payments, right? In any retail situation, you're going to have a place for debit payment. And the machines are, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So I have this joke, right? And one of the jokes is, I say to the customers, I'm like, yeah, I'm really sorry about the machine. I'm gonna call the company and ask for a male version. I don't know why they gave us a female machine. So that's that's the joke, because it never fucking works, right? So I call it a female.
Yeah.
And and I'll say that to men, and I get a chuckle out of them. But it's a wonderful social experiment, because 9 out of 10 men will kind of look over their shoulder after they laugh.
Yeah.
And I've said it in front of women, and I've had women get upset. So this is real, man. The gynotheism is real. I 9 out of 10 men, man. You criticize a woman, they look over their shoulder.
You're not allowed to name the name of God in vain, right? I think there is one of the rules in religion is that you're not allowed to curse. You know, it's like,
don't curse the name of God, or don't curse God.
Yeah, exactly.
God doesn't have
apply that to gynotheism. Yeah. The exact same thing. Like, women get really upset, really upset, because like they want to believe of themselves that they're spotless, that they're wonderful, they're perfect, that they're infallible.
Yeah.
Right, and so if you dare to criticize them, you're having doubt on the infallibility of the deity.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have faith in her, and you have to believe her. You must have faith.
Well, if you want to know who rules over you, just find out who you can't criticize, right?
Oh yeah.
Now, I'm going to go into the next thing here on the video, where this guy then says, I will identify ways to make women more visible. And of course, the solution to that is simple. Make them wear a hijab. Right? I mean, that's the progressive feminist ideology. It's like, we need women to be more visible. Please wear this hijab. Be more inclusive. Put on this hijab. It's so good for women. Okay,
there's no end to this shit, right?
Okay.
There's no end to this bullshit.
I'm going to continue the video. Hold on.
Let's all press for progress.
I will lead by example with inclusive action.
Well, first of all, look at these thoughts. Horrible, ugly women. Okay, then this guy goes, I will lead by example with, again, there's that word inclusive. Don't leave anybody out, whatever you do. All right, don't leave anybody out. Fuck, just mental illness. Let's see what else.
I will select women as spokespeople and leaders.
I will select women as spokespeople and leaders again.
And spokespeople, right? Not spokesmen or spokeswomen, because you must use inclusive language. So spokespeople.
Well, they're staying true to their doctrine. They're staying absolutely true to their doctrine. So
Well,
I will
if you have
select.
to be full of shit, you know, you go all the way, right?
I want to ask. Okay, so if I ask this guy, if I ask this mangina that says I will select women as spokespeople and leaders, if I asked him why, how would he respond? Do you think?
He would say, because mommy told me to say so. Right?
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't, because mummy will never. Because part of mummy's instruction is never admit that I'm telling you to say this, right?
Yes, exactly.
So,
but he's gonna look at her. He's gonna be all nervous. He's gonna look at mommy. Mommy, can I say that you told me to say this shit?
He's gonna look over
Do
his
what
shoulder.
I say, but don't say that I told you to say that.
Yeah. So okay, so let's assume that he's a good boy and he's not gonna say that mommy told him to say so. What is he gonna say? What's he gonna say? I say why? Why should I select women? What's his response gonna be?
Because they're special and unique, and I don't know, some crap.
I know, but
just don't know.
that's the thing. If you answer that question, then you kind of see the mindset of these people. I mean, I will select women as spokespeople. Okay, why? Well, because, and you know, this is what their answer is.
Because they're too underrepresented.
No.
Because there are too few of them.
I know exactly how he would answer. He would he'd speak in their language, and he would say, because we need to be inclusive.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what he would say, and you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
The fuck. All right, I'm gonna continue here. Let's see what else they got.
I will ensure credit is given for.
I will ensure credit is given for women's contributions. Huh. I don't know. I mean, are people like? Is there like a conspiracy against giving women credit for what they do? I mean, if all you guys have to do is just look at the backdrop of my chat, and you'll see the credit I'm giving them. Just look at that. Look at that right there. Look at the credit I'm giving these women. I put their pictures up for everyone to see.
Oh yeah.
Nobody can say I'm not giving women credit. Come on. I'm giving women credit. Let's see what else we got.
For women's contribution. I will challenge statements that limit women.
I will challenge statements that limit women. Okay. Give me an example, buddy.
You're not allowed to criticize. You know, you're not allowed. You're only allowed to say positive things. If you have positive things, you say them. If you have negative things, you just keep them to yourself.
I want to ask this ginger cuck. What statements? Give me an example. Give me an example of these statements that limit women. Really. And you're right. It just goes back. You're not allowed to criticize. You can't say if a woman you can't say that a woman looks fat, or you can't say she doesn't look good. You have to lie to her all the time. Whatever.
Let's all press for progress.
They're basically being very gynotheistic. That's what they're doing.
God, look at these horrible women. I mean, these guys that are working. Look at those women. That isn't. They look like.
You're being very hateful. You have to say that they're beautiful, even if they look like a train crash or a fucking land whale or a shipwreck. You just say, "Wow, you look amazing. You're beautiful."
Gentlemen, look at those women. I mean, I could understand some of these.
And they are strong and independent. Don't forget that. You're strong and empowered. Don't forget empowered.
I could understand some of these cucks taking time out of their day to stand in front of a camera and spew out this bullshit if these women were fucking good looking. But they're not.
Don't forget that the men who would say, "I'm not going to say this shit," they're probably going to be fired. Right? They're going to say, "You can't work here anymore."
Absolutely.
All right? Yeah.
All press for progress.
I will support visible women.
I will support visible women, not invisible women. Visible women. All right? Do not support invisible women. Whatever you do, make sure she's visible. Why aren't you supporting that woman? I can't see her, man. I don't know. I can't get behind an invisible woman. Sorry. Fuckers.
I will supportively call out inappropriate.
Oh, I like this one. I will supportively, I love that word, supportively. I will supportively call out inappropriate behavior.
Yeah, which means any form of criticism. All right. So if you dare to criticize or to have doubts, you're not allowed to have doubts. It's complete surrender. You just take a bow and just kiss their ass and say, you're beautiful, you're strong, you're independent, you're empowered, you're wonderful, you're beautiful. And then it's okay. But any sort of criticism or doubt, I will call you out and expose you as a fucking misogynist.
This is, do you know that Islam is an Arabic word, which it's an adjective which basically translates to submission or surrender?
Yeah, surrender. I know that. That's exactly what yeah.
But the idea is you surrender only to God, right? Like that's the only thing you surrender to. So these guys are.
And there is one and only God, by the way.
Yeah, the one and only God. There's only one, and
all other deities are false. There's only one God.
Absolutely.
All right.
So that's the point.
But that's why they keep talking. That's why they keep talking about women. You're never gonna hear them talking about women and men, right? Because it's like you're introducing someone else into the equation, and God is a jealous God. It has to be just one God.
Yeah.
Two gods are one too many.
Yeah, you can't have two gods. And look, and this is these guys are it's Cuxlam. That's their religion.
It's Ganotheism.
Yeah.
Just Ganotheism.
All right, let's see what else they got.
I will value women's individual.
I will value women's individual and collective success. But I mean, define success. Is that like if she what? Today nowadays we clap our hands when a woman takes a goddamn shit. Like give me a break. I don't know, man. I don't see a lot of successful women.
No, me neither.
Most women don't really understand the only kind of success women can understand is when they're standing behind a successful man. And they got
It's just that you can't when you're constantly pampered and you're living a very easy life and everybody's around you is protecting you and sheltering you and helping you and and doing things for you, and you're getting a lot of free shit and a lot of free stuff. You don't really have to work really hard to get things in life. It's like men go through a lot of shit at a very young age. It's like they learn at a very young age, okay, I have to do shit, otherwise I'm getting nothing.
You're getting left behind, man.
Yeah, that's why men are so inventive, because they learn at a very young age, I have to be inventive, I have to do it.
Nobody's going to take care of me.
That's why the whole thing that they're saying, independent, that's bullshit, that's projection. They're even stealing this word, independent, because men at a very young age, they learn that they have to be independent.
Yeah. No, women never learn the concept of independence or success. They never learn it. Very few. Let's see what else we got here.
And collective success.
I will celebrate women role models and their journey.
I will celebrate women role models and their journeys. Okay. Women role models. I suppose, is a woman role model intended to be a role model for other women? Because I don't think they're intended to be role models for men, right?
Well, in a Western world where male role models have been completely eliminated, are completely erased,
yeah,
right? Where many kids grew up in single mother households and they don't have a father, and they don't have, like I said before, they don't have male teachers and professors. So it's kind of amazing to keep talking about female positive role models when in fact the ones that are missing are the male ones.
Yeah, there are no good male role models anymore.
So once again you can see the projections.
Yeah.
These are all projections.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's keep going here.
Let's all press for progress.
How will we at Gibbs Hybrid press for progress?
I will select women as spokespeople and leaders.
Okay, so he's going to select women as spokespeople.
Yes.
For no other reason except that she has a vagina. Good for you, buddy. You still there, Nick? Nick, I called you Nick J.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. So you kind of your sound goes. I don't know. Maybe you're just muting yourself, but anyway.
Yeah, I was doing something. Yeah.
Okay.
No worries. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Next one here.
I will value women's individual and collective.
Again, valuing women's individual and collective success. Does that mean recognize it? I mean, to value it, do you recognize it, or do you have to give them a fucking award every time they, piss on the pot? I don't understand.
Well, probably yes. At least a pat on the shoulder, something. A little reward, like a golden star, a happy face, something like that.
Yeah, you gotta keep. That's like fucking kindergarten, man. Jesus.
Well, if you're dealing with children, that's what you get. You get kindergarten, right? That's exactly what you get.
All right, let's keep going here.
Success. I will support visible women.
There's that visible woman again. This is just repeating. I think this video is just repeating now. I will support visible women, and I will challenge statements that limit women. Okay, we've already heard this shit. It's just repeating.
Yeah.
Now.
That's repeating. No, you don't need to.
Yeah. So not only do these cucks have to sit in front of this camera and say these things at the beckoning
to please
these
horribly
ugly women. These horribly ugly women, actually. And not only have to do that, but they're repeating them. So they have to repeat it twice. Say it again. That was good. But say it again. Jesus Christ. Yep. All right. Anyway, that's what we're looking forward to, ladies and gentlemen. Women's Month. We're just in the 3rd day of it.
Yeah. Wait for the 8th, because the 8th will be the great party. You're gonna hear the hashtag Press for Progress. That would be very interesting. And it's gonna be on all TV channels and all news. It's gonna bitch about it like forever. So have fun.
Yeah, it's insane. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the chats now, you guys. I only have one monitor, so when I'm sharing the screen, I can't see the chats, but I'm looking at it now. And Rico asks, why is it mostly women in hell? That's a good question, because I don't know if they even answer that. Like it's a very common and popular concept. If you walk into any masjid, or what do they call it in English? Mosque.
The mosque.
If you go into any mosque in anywhere in the world, really, if you're living in America or Europe, go find your local mosque, walk in there, talk to the imam, and just ask him, go like, why are mostly women in hell? And he'll sit you down and he'll explain it, because they believe that. They absolutely believe that. So why, I don't know. I mean, I could look around. I mean, to me, when I heard that, right, and I don't subscribe to the traditionalist Wahhabist Islam. I don't believe in that religion. All right, I don't believe in it at all. But this is what these people think. This is how they think. This is their mindset. And I remember after hearing that, I just and then becoming MGTOW later on, in life, a few years after coming MGTOW, and going, that makes a lot of sense to me now. I thought they never explained it to me in a religious context, but as I became MGTOW, I started thinking that makes a lot of sense. And even if it isn't true, I can see why a patriarchal religion would say that. I mean, look at how women behave. We're talking about women that are willing to destroy a man's life by lying about something.
Well, it's probably the reason why these sort of sexist and chauvinistic patriarchal men of the past, of course it's bullshit, by the way, that's probably the reason why they didn't want them to speak in public or to have any positions of power and leadership, because they knew what was going to happen. And now, now that I see it, now I can see it. Now we can all see it. Now we can all see what's happening. You can see the madness that is going on in the West and in Canada and America and Europe. Is just bullshit.
Well, here, okay. I'll put it this way, Rico. If I was the imam and you came into the mosque, and you asked me the question, why are mostly women in hell? You know what I would say if I was subscribed to that religion, like if I really believed in that, that Islamic, that sort of traditionalist Wahhabist Islamic faith. If I had subscribed to it and it was my job to explain it, I would say this. I would say, go down to any abortion clinic, and then you'll see why. Because women, and this is happening in the modern age, is that women will indiscriminately just kill whatever's inside them and feel good about it.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you 100%.
So that's
and
why.
That's what I've been saying for the longest time. It's like the great majority of fetuses which are aborted, they're perfectly healthy, 100%. 100% healthy. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that fetus, nothing. It's just she's upset, she just changed her mind, or she's having some fucking issues. Exactly, some impediments, which have absolutely nothing to do with the health. And then the fetus is in perfect conditions. Perfect.
Absolutely, and again, like that's the explanation I would give if I was in the position to have to give it, and you know, this it's out of control. Women are mass murderers. Women are committing genocide in the West, and nobody wants to say that, but they are. They're killing children indiscriminately because they're inconvenienced. For Christ's sake, in fucking convenienced. Oh, I didn't really want to be pregnant, you know. Maybe don't even know who the fucking dad is, but you know, I'm.
But they can, because, you know, again, I'm sorry if I repeat this point, but from a gynotheistic perspective, you know, the deity can even exterminate millions of people. It doesn't matter, you know. It's the god, so the god can do whatever the fuck they want. So this deity, this goddess, which is the goddess of gynotheism, she can decide who gets to live and who gets to die. Right, and you cannot criticize. You're not allowed to criticize.
No. Hey, no,
you just have to passively accept. Huh?
Sorry, no's here. Just pointing out in the chats.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So you're right, man. It is like it's a religion, man. It's
a cult.
A cult.
A cult or religion. Yep.
Yeah. See what else we got here. Behind every successful man is a broad, attempting to ride on his coattails. Absolutely. I mean, that's what I mean. That it's very... Think, any one of you, just stop, ponder for a moment, and think about who are the successful women you know, and why do you think they're successful? It's not an easy task, man. It's not an easy task. I mean, really, to be... Whether or not you are in a gynocentric run world as we are today, or what do we call it? What's the opposite of patriarchy? Matriarchy, right?
The matriarchy. Yeah.
Yeah. Whether or not we're in a sort of matriarchy, which is tossed around in certain circles, whether or not we're in a gynocentric patriarchy, whatever it might be.
Yep.
Right.
That's the last one.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever it might be, women count success as basically having their hand in the pocket of a successful man. That's success for a woman. Okay, very few women will admit that nowadays, but that is how they see success. So yeah. MGTOW Warrior also says visible broads means the land whales that you can't help but notice. Very visible. Very visible.
Extremely. Right in your face visible.
Holy shit. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Visible women, like what the fuck does that mean? I don't understand that. Oh, here.
I told you I had some shit videos to show you.
No, that was a good one. Here, Cabin Boy says women are visible, standing outside the YWCA on drugs, drunk, and around the corner selling themselves. No, he's not wrong, man. He's not wrong. Anyway, I think we should wrap it up. So, I guess maybe we'll put in a few more minutes. If anybody has any other questions they want to ask before we shut down this talk. Thanks for everybody for coming. I see y'all there. Donnie Darko's in there. No came in. That's cool. Good to see you. Rusky. Some new faces, some old faces. Good to see you guys. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be doing another talk today. This is like a double feature day for me. But I'm not going to do this all the time, though. This is just for today.
Yeah.
I think what I will do is shift from afternoon to evening, like every other week kind of thing. So yeah, I'm streaming again tonight, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That time might change, but I'm pretty sure it'll be about 7. So 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And that'll be me and Nick. Nick will be there for that one.
Nick.
Just Nick and I, and it will be. We're kind of gonna break down some of the criticism that happened after the TFM talk. We're gonna break some of that down, and a few other things we got going on. So yeah, that'll be coming up. If anybody else have any questions they want to ask me or Jay, say it now, and then we'll get that out of the way and move on with the afternoon. But anyway, yeah, there we are. Women's Month. Get ready. Buckle in, guys, because we got 27 more days of this shit. Holy Christ.
Yeah. I will be a real shit show. I bet, because they will now merge all these fucking hashtags, you know, Time's Up and Me Too, and now this fucking Press for Progress. And then you had there are others, you know, I also read others, but they're so fucked up. It's just, so it's going to be a real shit show on steroids. So just expect a tsunami of garbage.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm definitely gonna keep my eyes open. If I see any tomfoolery going on in my own hometown, I'll try to capture some of it. We'll see. We'll see how it rolls. Anyway, I guess we'll just call that a show. Thanks a lot, Jay.
Yep, that was cool.
Yep, I'll put it to an end. We could chat for a bit after. But anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you stopping in. Again, this, you know, I'll probably try to do in the future afternoon. I'll switch between afternoon and evening on a Saturday. Maybe 1 week afternoon, 1 week an evening. But I'll try to keep you up to date when it's coming out. I'll try to throw promos up when I can. So, all right.
That's awesome.
Okay, thanks a lot, JC. You guys take it easy.
Okay, take care.